The cold email workflow that you're watching on the screen here is making us over $50,000 every single month, and it's taking us over 4 months of blood, sweat, and tears to properly create, test, and perfect. It's so effective, it's booking us and our clients over 20 qualified sales meetings every month at an average 2% positive reply rate. That's nearly double the industry average. And the best part about it, it's 100% automated and it works across hundreds of different industries, ICPs, and personas that you might be targeting here. In this video, I'm gonna be detailing every single step of that workflow, how it works, and how you can apply it to your business, regardless of the offer, industry, or ICP that you might be targeting. Be sure to stick around for every single step in this video, because if you don't follow every step, you're just not gonna get optimal results. Abraham Lincoln famously said, if I had 7 hours to chop down a cherry tree, I'd spend the first 6 sharpening my axe. When it comes to cold email, it is absolutely the same. So when our clients ultimately come on board and decide to work with us, the first task that we ask of them is to complete an onboarding form. This shows everything that they know about their business. So the first part of that is, who is their ideal client persona? And we want to know everything, and I mean everything, right? What industry do they operate in? What revenue size? How many headcounts do they typically have? What titles do they typically cater to? What keeps them up at night? Where do they eat? Where do they sleep? Who do they hang out with? Everything like that, just so we can get a really good picture of who exactly that person is. From there, we want to understand, what are the problems or challenges that your clients are typically encountering that prompts you to evaluate their solution? A common question that we ask is, what problems are your clients have that are keeping them up at night that make them want to evaluate your solutions? From there, it's just a natural question next of, what's your value proposition? How do you exactly help these clients solve those and be as detailed and specific as possible? And this really gives us granular understanding into the mechanisms that you're applying to deliver the results. From there, we just want to see proof. So the next question is, show us the case studies, right? Show us any success stories that you've had and really be detailed in those stories, so we just get a good understanding of who you've actually helped and how you've done it and what results they were able to yield from your process. Lastly is, what unique mechanisms do you drive to really uncover those results? Is it something like a blueprint or a launch plan or some unique strategy that the market hasn't seen yet that you're really able to get really unique in strategy and how you're going to deliver incredible results for these clients? Once you know who you're going to be selling to, our next step is very similar to planning a heist. But hold on, wait a second, and let me explain. So let's pretend you're planning to steal the Mona Lisa from the Louvre in Paris. Would you just go in there heavily armed, guns blazing, expecting to steal the Mona Lisa? Or would you spend cautious amounts of time getting a lay of the land, seeing where all the lasers are at, where all the camera feeds are, and so on? So once we've done proper research with GPT, we're gonna take over all that knowledge and we're gonna bring it over to Claude. It's a different AI model, but what we found is just Claude is a much better script writer and copywriter than GPT is for right now. So with that in mind, with Claude, what we're essentially going to do is we're going to ask it to create a bunch of different offer statements or value propositions for how we're going to go and solve the pain points and challenges being faced by our target personas that were previously identified in GPT. Next, from there, we're going to give it custom templates that we've seen work historically well across all of our different client portfolios. We're bringing in around 11 frameworks right now that are working out significantly well. And I'll share a Gamma document down in the description below where you guys can access those for free. From there, we're gonna have 2 more prompts left. That second prompt is gonna be the follow-up prompt. And the goal for Claude there is to send a follow-up email that sounds really organic. It's gonna start off with something like, hey, I sent you an email the other day about our offer, but likely didn't explain the best job of how exactly we help. And the goal that we're gonna prompt Claude with is to answer the question, okay, but how? How do you actually deliver on the results that you mentioned in your first email? And that'll give us a really clean follow-up email. And then our third and our final email that we're asked for Claude is simply, is there a better point of contact, assuming that that point of contact that we're referencing is busy there, right? We just want to be human, we want to be organic, we want to be understanding. Now, of course, AI is great at automating a large part of this journey here, but sometimes we just need that human intervention to make it sound a little bit more organic. So be sure that you're checking for tonality and making sure that's sounding human and something like you would conversationally say to somebody at a bar, right? We want to keep it really casual but professional in our message there. Are there any personalization enhancements that you can provide? And then lastly, is there anywhere we could just cut out the fluff and get it right to the point? We've seen increased scrutiny around Microsoft deliverability and Google deliverability. So when we can keep our emails to 1 to 2 lines, which Claude is great at, then we want to deliver on that on any opportunity possible. And once your copy is human enough, we need to have to test our campaigns for spam to ensure that we're ending up in the inbox every single time. Once our copy is human enough, we have to ensure that we're not triggering relevant spam keywords that might be flagged by Google or Microsoft. And the best way that I've found to do this so far is utilizing a tool called Email Guard. I have no affiliation with this tool. I just think it does good work. And so essentially what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take those scripts that were from over in Claude and we're gonna take those into Email Guard and quickly just copy and paste and run a spam check. If that spam check comes with less than a 2 keyword spam check, then good. We're gonna take that script and we're gonna import that over into our custom GPT called Spintax Baby. What Spintax Baby is gonna do is it's gonna apply Spintax to our emails. If you're not familiar with Spintax, essentially what it is it's a syntax sending formula, which will vary the keywords or words that are sent to respective parties. So person 1 will get a custom message to person 1, and person 2 will get a custom message to person 2. It just does this at greater scale. Next, we wanna limit our initial sending volume. When you first launch your campaigns, you don't wanna come out of the gates hot and running, sending 40 to 50 emails from one account. You want to start off on a more gradual basis because it will just seem more organic to the senders that you're trying to end up in the inbox of. So that first week, try to aim for maybe 5 to 10 emails at max. That second week's 10 to 15. And we're capping at 15 right now, maybe 20 if we're having a domain that's been around for 3 to 4 months, just because it has established credibility. Next is to monitor your key metrics. Your response rate to your email campaigns is your North Star. You really don't want to see this vary too much. But if you are sitting somewhere in the range of 4 to 7%, you have a winning campaign. And if it dips anywhere below 2% and your bounce rates shoot up, that's when you know you have something going on there. That's probably in regards to the infrastructure process, because you've already done so much work on the copywriting side of things, applying Spintax and ensuring that there's no spam words applied. A/B testing is obviously very critical. That's why in our Gamma document, we have over 11 different frameworks that we apply there. Within that first month, you're gonna have a ton of data to figure out what's working and what's not. So when that first month comes to an end, you can see, hey, these scripts are performing well, these ones aren't, and you can trash the ones that aren't. And then with the ones that are working, you just take that back into Claude and you say, hey, Claude, write this for me 3 to 4 more different ways. And then you can apply that to your next campaign. So you're consistently iterating and optimizing on what's working and what's not, so you can scale it to the good and reduce the bad. Now that is our entire cold email workflow. However, no matter how much time and effort you put into the system, if you don't learn how to actually write and test your own cold email copies, you simply won't be successful with cold email. That's why I recorded a much more in-depth video going over exactly those 2 things in granular detail, so you can start getting more responses and booking more meetings with cold email. See you guys there.